Prepper003 here today, and today I wanted to get you guys into an introductionary for you beginners out there, and maybe just kind of a look back for more of you experienced guys to help spread some knowledge, maybe even to some of you experts out there to kind of verify your choices. But I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of introductionary to those guys that are just starting out or thinking of getting into the militia community. What do you need for your pretty much your starting out rifle for a fighting carbine? Now, I'm not going to get too much into battle rifles because that's a whole different subject in and of itself, and a whole different philosophy of use there for battle rifles like your M1As, PTRs, FALs, whatever, what have you. But I'm just going to quickly start out with, you just got your rifle. What rifle to go with? Now, I'm not going to tell you to go with a Ruger Mini 14, an AKM, an AR-15, because that's going to be pretty much a personal choice. You might like the reliability and functionality of the AKM over the AR-15. You might like the rounds better. It all varies on that. So I'm not really going to get into what rifle you need, but pretty much just a general overview on some of the things you might want to do after you get your rifle. Now, I'm going to definitely suggest the first thing after you get your rifle is to get at minimum 12 to 14 magazines with it. And just you don't have to get that immediately, but just try to work your way up to that for a minimum setup, because just for a standard loadout you're going to be looking at anywhere from 4 to 6, 7 magazines in a standard loadout, and just having that backup set of magazines there that can refill that loadout is going to be detrimental and maybe even save your butt later on down the road. Just as a general idea of consensus, that's my general thought on it. I'm still working on that for each rifle that I have, having a 12 magazine backup per that rifle. Now, if you can afford and get more than that, then by golly, get more than that. Keep getting those magazines, keep stockpiling up. Make sure you test them, make sure that they work, and get quality magazines rather than just quantity. Because having a lot of crappy magazines is not nearly as worthy as having a few good magazines. And I know that there's like a couple of your Tapco AK-74, that's the word that I was looking for, magazines out there that I've personally seen fail beyond functionality at that point. So just throwing that out there. Now, I'm going to get on to the setups. Whenever you get your rifle, I know that it's very tempting to go out and to tactical it as quickly as possible, because you see all these different types of setups, all these different YouTube videos and things like that, to pretty much set it up like, I'm going to use an example right here, like my Scar 16S right here. Sure, this is tactical, sure, it's all that. It's got the Steiner Debo IR laser, the Surefire IR flashlight, the Trijicon ACOG on there, but in reality, if you can spend all that money on just the rifle itself, put that same amount of money towards ammunition, towards training. That same Scar right there has seen well over 10,000 rounds worth of training and range time going out to FTXs and being out in the field. You can definitely see the wear on it if you take a pretty good close-up look on it. But just put as much money as you can into training, learning the rifle. Learning the irons is something that I'm going to say especially to get out and to just practice your basic rifle marksmanship, learning your trigger, learning your irons, and pretty much learning how the basic functionality of the rifle, learning how to clear all the types of malfunctions that you can get with it, learning the basic weapon mechanics of the firearm. And now I'm going to get kind of into ways you can do that. Now, I would suggest learning from a quality instructor if you can, like going to actual firearms classes. But if you can't afford to, you don't have the time to, get some of the DVDs like Travis Haley's Magpul, Viking Tactics, just some ideas. There's a whole bunch of good instructors out there, but just be sure to look into the backgrounds of these instructors and to take what they're teaching in these videos out into the range and to actually practice them. Don't just watch them and think, oh, okay, I've got it, or because I practiced it a couple of times at home. Actually implement and train with that rifle and learn the basics of it, because who knows, that rifle might be the thing that saves your life in the future. then which is what I'm going to go on to accessories, because there's, like I said before, it's very tempting to go out and buy a lot of cheap stuff and quickly strap it on there and make your rifle look pretty darn cool if you look at it from a zombie invasion kind of thing, where you've seen people put a whole bunch of different types of stuff. But just I'm going to kind of keep it short, but buy quality over quantity. Just buy something that's actually going to hold up, has a very good quality record with the company, with the product. Now, sure, you might be able to get a Bushnell or cheap Bushnell scope, a cheap Burris red dot, but in the end, just realize that you might have to put your life on that. And I value my life greatly. I value my family's life greatly. So that's why I spend the extra amount of money on these items. If I am going to put a red dot on it, I make sure to look up, do the proper history, do the proper investigation into that product to make sure that it's going to fill my needs the way I need it to. And that's just, I'm going to keep that pretty short there. Just do your research and be sure that it's money well spent, because I've wasted thousands of dollars on stuff that's just cheap knockoffs and just cheap gear in general, when I could have put that money towards actual rounds or good quality investments of gear and optics. Now, for your general loadout, I'm going to just pretty much keep this as try to get something that can work for both types of weapon systems. For a AKM, for Ruger Mini 14, for a AR-15. And right now, this right here is the SOE AK M4 micro rig, and as you can see right here, I have 2 AKM magazines nicely snug in here, and then I have right down here 2 AR-15 magazines. Now this is to just give you guys a general idea that it will accept both magazines. Now, why do I have it that way? Because if you are into the prepper mindset, then you may have to revert to an AKM. Your main rifle may go down and take a crap on you. You may have to pick up a rifle and use it. So just trying to keep that short in general, but that's pretty much why I try to stay adaptive, to be as, I guess the only word I can think of right now is be adaptive. To be able to adapt to any situation that you're given. Even if it's a crappy situation, to be able to mold yourself and to put yourself and to be able to utilize what you can in that situation. So that's pretty much how I look at it, is to try to be as useful in any role that I can. And I'm not trying to make myself into some badass soldier or whatnot, because I'm not. I'm just some Joe Smo civilian guy who has a basic understanding of weapon functionality, weapon manipulation, and into the overall mechanics of firearms as a basic gunsmith. So that's pretty much just the general idea. Now, I will say, as far as ammunitions goes, I'm going to try to get a whole separate video out, but I'm going to just summarize it as try to keep around 500 rounds bare minimum for a shit's fan scenario. Now, sure, you can have other ammunition set aside, but try to keep 500 rounds for specifically for shit's fan. Now, sure, you can recycle it out just because ammunition can tend to wear over time. So, but if you are going to take out of that, be sure that you're putting that same exact amount in there or more before you take it out. Just my opinion on that. But yeah, pretty much just trying to keep it basic. Don't do anything too exaggerated, and just learn your rifle and take it out and pretty much just train on it. Train as much as you can with it, with the amount of money that you have and the amount of time that you have. So thanks for watching. I hope it was a brief, good video for you. Give you guys a couple of good ideas to start out with. Now, I know it's going to be a kind of a hassle down there, but if you want to, just shoot me a comment to see your general opinion on that. See if you offer up some ideas to the other people that are going to be starting out, or if you're starting out yourself, kind of shoot me out how you think of this, any ideas you might have thought of that I didn't, to help out. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Have a great time, and thanks for watching. If you liked the video, shoot a like below. And enjoy yourself. Have a great evening, guys.